Alright, what is up guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. And today we're going to be kind of reacting and giving like a pre-prediction to the UCL 2019/20 draw. Today was the group stage draw. Today was like the UEFA Best of Awards as well. Congratulations to Virgil van Dijk on winning the best player of the year, or whatever it was, player of the year for UEFA and all that good stuff. It was really cool to see Ronaldo and Messi next to each other. Ronaldo say so many nice and cool things about them both. But today I want to I already saw these, so it's not really a reaction, but I'm going to be kind of like saying what my first reactions were, because I saw these during class and I was like, you know what, man, I need to make a video on this. So we're gonna go ahead and pop it up right now. Guys, drop a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and let me know in the comment section down below who you guys think is going to get out of every single group. Feel free to disagree with me, so we can have some discussion, some friendly, nice, civilized discussions in the comment section down below. And once we get closer to the group stage actually starting, we will go ahead and do an official predictions video. So this is just my reaction, okay, for my first reaction, my first thoughts. So starting with Group A, PSG, Real Madrid, Club Brugge, and then Galatasaray. Now this one's actually an interesting one, man. I think Real Madrid should come out on top. It kind of depends. Is Neymar going to stay? Is Neymar not? It's looking like he's going to go back to Barca. So I think Real Madrid should have the upper hand over PSG, but at the same time, PSG is not to be slept on. They could do some damage. So who knows? That's going to be an interesting one. It kind of just depends if Real Madrid do find their groove by the time they have to go ahead and play against PSG. And then we have Galatasaray here as well, who's another club who could steal like a point here and there from one of those two clubs, but honestly I can't see it happening. So I would just go with the favorites here, which are PSG and Real Madrid, to come out of the group. Moving on to Group B. This is a pretty straightforward one. Olympiacos, I can't really see them pulling off the upset against Spurs. Like, could it happen? Could Spurs do a Spurs and bottle it? Maybe, but honestly, I would say I just don't think so with the new signings for both Bayern and Tottenham. I just don't think they will bottle it. So Group B, first top two as well, and then Group C. Now this one's an interesting one, man. This is probably the easiest group of the whole group, of all groups, of all the Champions League groups. We have City, Shakhtar, Dinamo Zagreb, and then Atalanta. Now this one's an interesting one. I personally want to see City and Atalanta come out, and if I had to put my money on someone, I would put it on those two. Shakhtar could pull off the upsets. It really is in between Shakhtar and Atalanta to kind of battle it out and see who could come in second. Dinamo, I just don't think are going to be able to pull it off, to be completely honest. So I would go for City in first and Atalanta in second. Moving on to Group D. Now this one's one of the more difficult groups. Just because Juventus is the most deadly for sure. They're the favorites. Atletico have a great squad, and I feel like they could definitely win against Juventus. Even though, of course, last season in the knockout stage they lost. And Cristiano Ronaldo always performs against Atletico Madrid. Bayer Leverkusen have some great players in Brandt, Volland, Havertz. Man, they have so many great players. So Bayer Leverkusen could put up some performances against Juventus or Atletico Madrid. And then Lokomotiv Moscow is not to be slept on, man. They're not a bad team. They're a pretty decent team. They have some pretty decent players, such as Jefferson Farfan, one of the best players in the world. No, but seriously, they're not to be slept on, to be completely honest. And this could be a very interesting group, man. It's going to be a very group that you really want to keep an eye on. Then moving on to Group E, this one's a pretty straightforward one. I cannot see Salzburg pulling off the upsets against Liverpool or Napoli. Maybe. See, it's interesting because I just don't think it's going to happen, and then Genk really doesn't have that much of a chance. So I think Liverpool and Napoli are going to be the top two. Moving on to Group F, Barcelona, Dortmund, Inter, and Slavia Praha. You got to keep in mind, Slavia actually beat a team who they shouldn't have beat, and I don't remember what team that was. But whatever, Slavia Praha is not to be slept on, but at the same time, I just don't think they're going to hang with these three juggernauts. Antonio Conte is going to put out a great squad with Inter. Dortmund's going to be interesting to see how good they play. So it's going to be between Dortmund and Inter to kind of fight in between these two. And I honestly feel like Barca and Inter is going to be an amazing game. One of the best group stage games of just all the matches. Just because I feel like Inter are really putting the pieces together, man. They're about to get Alexis Sanchez. They have Lukaku now. They're just putting up a great squad. And then with Antonio Conte's tactics, I really do feel like they could pull off an upset. Moving on to Group G, this is probably like the most balanced one. And this is like the group that you would see in the Europa League. That's the funny thing. But Zenit is leading the group with Benfica and then Lyon and Leipzig. Now, this one's an interesting one. If I had to say who is coming out on top, I would say Lyon, and then it's in between Benfica and Leipzig. I just can't see Zenit really coming out of the group. I know they have Malcolm now. They have a couple players here and there that are pretty decent. But I would say Lyon definitely in top. And then it's going to be in between Leipzig and Benfica, man. Leipzig really don't perform when it comes to Champions League games, so I feel like they could lose out to Benfica. I'm not too sure. Who knows? And then Group H, man. This one, I just feel bad for Chelsea. Ajax, Valencia, and Lille. This is an interesting one. If I had to bet on Chelsea getting out of this group, I wouldn't. Just because they have had some pretty good, they have had a pretty decent start to the season, like playing-wise. I know results-wise they haven't really gotten it done, but just as like them as a group, as a collective, how they've been playing and performing, I feel like they have had some great stints and they have had some very, very positive signs for their team. But coming up against a squad like Ajax, who have lost a couple players but have added a couple players here, like Quincy Promes, they added that Mexican guy who scored in the qualifier for the Champions League. Man, Ajax is looking like a pretty solid team still. And then Valencia, it depends what kind of Valencia shows up. If it's the good Valencia, then they will be dangerous. And then Lille is a pretty solid team. Of course, they don't have their main man, their talisman, Nicolas Pepe anymore. But that group is just... It's just, I wouldn't be surprised if Chelsea didn't come in the top two. But if I had to say who comes out of this group, I would go just for Chelsea and Ajax, just because it's the most one. They're the favorites to come out, in my opinion. So I would go for them over anyone else. But yeah, guys, that is my reaction for today, my kind of reaction predictions. I don't know if I'm going to be doing another one. I said I was going to, but I don't know. I think I did a pretty good job at explaining myself, and I don't think there's going to be much that changes from here up to like the first group stage game. But yeah, guys, this is Whirlwind video. I hope you guys did enjoy. Leave a comment and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. See you guys next video. Have a nice day. And I'm out.